Hello. Today I wanted to talk to you about working as an artist. I've realised it's been 10 years since I transitioned to trying to make my living from art. So it's been 10 years since I started trying to make art my career, my livelihood. And I just thought I'd share maybe some wisdom and some thoughts that I have been thinking about as this anniversary has approached. And I think anniversaries are always a great time, aren't they? To look back, to look forward, to think, what have I learned on this journey? Now, just to give you a very quick kind of potted history of me as an artist, in case you're new here and you know nothing about me. So I'm 48 now. I started working as an artist when I was 38, but I didn't go to art college, so I had a kind of circuitous route to becoming an artist. I was working in an office and then I sort of transitioned to making art my career. So I was a really arty child, didn't do anything creative in my 20s. Throughout most of my 30s to my late 30s, art was a real passion and a real hobby, and I did lots of courses and studied quite a lot, but really with the thought that it was something I did to make my life feel more fulfilling and enriched, not something that I would then go on to earn my living through. And then when I was about 38, I made the decision that actually I was really interested in art and I wanted to try to see if I could make a living from it. And the thing is that I had no idea how to do that. I had a really nice, good job in an office and I don't even think I knew any artists. I had no idea how to make that leap from where I was to where I wanted to be. Please don't think that this is career advice. I do not feel equipped to offer anyone real tangible advice about how to move from an office to working as an artist. All I can do is share my story and hope that that might give you some sort of ideas or inspiration or hope if that is what you are after. I think it's important to say there is no one way to become an artist. I would like to have gone to art college and really studied art in that way, but that didn't happen for me. I was rejected from art college and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But there is no one path to anything, is there? There's no one route. There's no three-step process that will take you from there to there. And what I found out trying to work as an artist is that most of the time I'm making it up as I go along. I'm trying things out, I'm seeing what works, I'm seeing what doesn't work, and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And 10 years in, I really still think that I'm doing that. And I actually think in another 10 years, I will still think that I'm doing that. It is a career that demands a certain level of ambiguity. And, you know, there's no clear path through. You know, it seems to me that being an artist is very much like art making in and of itself. That you have to try things out, you have to be prepared for something not to work, you have to keep going when things seem quite hard, you have to have a sort of inquisitive curiosity and a brave heart. For me, working as an artist has really involved a high level of improvisation and optimism. For the first probably 5 years when I was trying to make art my living, I also had a part-time job doing something completely different. So I didn't go from having a salary to kind of jumping into the unknown. I had a really slow sort of runway and a little bit of financial ballast and security from a job doing something else. So for those 5 years, I had a good part-time job. I worked in an advertising agency for 2 days a week. That allowed me a little bit of financial stability. So I wasn't expecting my art to pay my bills and to pay my mortgage from the get-go. I sort of had this transition period where I had one foot in my past career and then the other foot in art making, and I just allowed that period for me to discover, to learn, to try things out. And I tried all sorts of things. I tried selling my art online, I built a website, I tried to work with galleries, I tried prints, I entered competitions. I literally just tried all the things I could possibly think and to see what worked. And then bit by bit, in the doing and in the trying and in the discovering, you find things out about what works, what doesn't work, what you enjoy, what connects with other people. Art making, you have to find an audience. So when I first thought about being an artist, I hadn't really comprehended that that would mean I would be running my own business. And I know that seems rather naive, actually, very naive. I sort of in my head thought that being an artist was all about creating art, and it is to an extent. So, yes, of course, my art making is the engine behind everything that I do, but I've also realised that being an artist involves all sorts of different business skills, from financial management to looking at contracts to understanding packing and delivery to building a website to building an email list to getting my work out from, my attic studio to the world. How am I connecting with people? And it's been such a massive learning curve. Being an artist has involved doing so many different things, things out of my comfort zone, from writing a book to talking to you now. I mean, I never thought that I would be in front of the camera. I'm quite reticent, quite shy sometimes. And so having to do all these things has been fabulous and interesting, and I've really loved it. But it's also been a challenge and a stretch, and I've had to do, I've had to learn a lot about running a business as much as who I am as an artist. So it's been a lot about, yes, creating art, leaning into who I am as an artist, what I love, what I want my art to be about, how I want my art to feel. But it's also been, how do I run a business? How do I market? How do I connect with people who may want to give me money for the things that I have to offer? And that has been a big learning curve, and I think I'm still learning and still enjoying it. It's a good challenge. Embracing my weird quirks and sensitivities and sensibilities has been a really important step to becoming more successful. So the more my art looks like I made it and has me kind of embedded on the page, the more it seems to connect with other people. Sometimes our sort of weird bits are our interesting bits. And I've kind of learned that along the way, that the more I try and bring myself to the art that I'm making, the more it resonates and connects with people. So working as an artist definitely involves tenacity and perseverance, and I think I have learnt to keep going in the face of adversity. There are so many different ways to build a livelihood and create a income from art. And the way that I create an income from art is through selling original paintings, through licensing my work. So I've licensed a lot of my images for posters and for prints, or for brands to use on book covers or wine bottles, or that sort of thing. I teach online classes, and I also do sort of special projects, like I've written a book and I got a one-off fee for writing that book. So I have patchworked together an income from different sources, and I think that's what a lot of artists do. They have different kind of ways of creating art. Of course, some artists can just live off the income from selling paintings alone. But for me, I soon realised when I started trying to work as an artist, that to just live off the income from paintings, I would either have to create at a really fast rate or massively increase my prices. And for me, neither of those felt comfortable to me. So, yes, original art is part of my income stream, but it's not the whole income stream. So there have been plenty of times over the last 10 years where things just haven't worked out the way I thought they were going to. There are lots of things I've tried that haven't necessarily been successful, but along the way you gather knowledge and insight, and I found a way to create a living that works for me. So I think embracing failure, disappointments is just part of the artistic career. It's embedded in what we do in a way, and no one wants to embrace failure, no one wants to learn from their mistakes, but the reality is that art as a career has a lot of things that may be out of your control. You know, I create paintings that I think might be absolutely beautiful and then they don't sell. Or I might try things that I think will work really well and then they don't work. At one point I sold a lot of prints and I was losing money on it, and now I don't sell prints. And I've just taken everything that I have done and used that as information, as more insight, as more knowledge that I can then take forward to create a career that works for me, but patchworked from lots of different income streams related to art. An art career isn't for everyone. Just because somebody makes money from their art doesn't mean that their art is more valuable than someone who doesn't. I think there are lots of different ways to embrace art in your life, and art making, I think, is enriching and nourishing and purposeful and meaningful, and that doesn't have to be related to making money from art. So there we go, a few thoughts about art as a career.